Welcome back to the channel. It's the first of the transfer shows which I'll be bringing to you regularly here on the Football Martin channel. Pre-recorded today, but there will be live shows as well. And we're going to do one this Sunday at 7 p.m. because the transfer window opens this Sunday. So we're going to do a special live show on Sunday, and we will dig into a bit more of what we're hearing. Look, I think Southampton are going to do their business early. I think there'll be a lot of incomings and outgoings very early in this transfer window. A big part of today's transfer show here on the channel is going to be featuring one of our, I think it's going to be our first signing. It's going to be our first signing. There's no doubt about it. Joshua Quarshie. He is signing, and it looks like it's done. He's had his medical, but they probably won't announce this one to the weekend just because the transfer window hasn't opened. So I think it'll be announced as soon as the window's open Sunday. So it'd be something to talk about. Look, there's loads of speculation at this moment in time, and there's loads of interesting things being said, interesting people liking different accounts. So let's cover it all. Look, 90% of what we share on this show probably won't happen. I don't have a ton of inside sources, so it's not like I'm here as like a reporter that's got loads of contacts within the transfer world. I just want to talk about what we've seen, the stories that are around. There's some reliable sources. There are not so reliable sources. So we're going to cover it all. So yeah, it's going to be a good show. Really looking forward to putting this one together. Looking forward to doing this regularly as well. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do go subscribe to the channel. It will make a massive difference. I want to get some guests on and we'll do some podcasts over the summer. So by getting more subscribers, we'll push the videos to more people. More subscribers looks a lot better for me if you're getting bigger likes, bigger audiences, and that enables me to get some pretty cool guests on. So that's the plan. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do subscribe to the channel today. That would mean the absolute world to me. And thank you very much for your continued support. Right, we'll kick off with striker Paul Onuachu. He's been linked with a move pretty much every single window since he signed for Southampton. And reports yesterday suggest that Transport are closing in on the deal to sign Onuachu, who's 30 years old now, rumoured to be just €8 million. That's a hefty loss for Saints, who paid around about €18 million for him. The Turkish club are still struggling to agree a fee. Well, they were struggling to agree a fee back in the summer when Saints were trying to sell him. It's rumoured that Saints want upwards of about €6 million. How true that is, I don't know. The centre forward scored 4 goals, 11 starts this season. I think he'd go. There's no doubt about that. We would need to bring a striker, and we all know that. We all know we need a striker. How do you feel about Onuachu going? Get involved in the comments box below. He could do a job in the Championship. There's no doubt about that. Whether he can get him fit for long enough would be the big issue. I've not been massively impressed with what I've seen of him. I think for what we need in the Championship, we need someone a bit more dynamic than that. I think Ross Stewart will be a far, far better player. Ross Stewart, for me, I just hope he stays fit, and that is the big thing. Right, this next story will come as no surprise. It's been circling for a while. He spoke last week at that the club had a player awards evening. It was very low key. I was there. It was like a thank you dinner to a lot of people, sponsors, people that have done work with inside the club. And Matheus Fernandes was awarded a couple of awards there. He got the Fans Player of the Season, and he also got the Daily Echo's Player of the Season. He went on to say what a difficult year it had been, and there's loads of quotes across the social media platforms, and he hopes for a better year next year and that the club can have a far better season. A lot of people were hanging their hopes on Matheus Fernandes staying, but every player will have his price. There's no doubt about that. And a journalist from The Telegraph has put this story out. I think it went out yesterday, maybe the day before. He said this a couple of times, that Nottingham Forest are still very interested in Matheus Fernandes. Saints have a lot of interest, says Percy. I think it's John Percy it's J Percy Telegraph. He tweets a lot. I think it's John Percy if I'm right. He's gone on to say Southampton want ridiculous money for players, so they're not going to be easy to deal with. So could we potentially put suitors off buying Fernandes dibbling because of the price tags are going to be so high? Is someone going to take a £35 million punt on Matheus Fernandes? I think it remains to be seen. It would be so ambitious to keep Matheus Fernandes this summer. If they did, that would, for me, would be like a real sign of intent. Right, we mean business. We're getting back to the Premier League and we're going to like back Will Steele and get the right bodies in the door. I love to. If there's any player that I can keep at Saints, it would be him. And for me, by keeping him, it'd be like a signing really, because we don't expect to have him when the Championship kicks off, in my opinion. So, yeah, for me, for Nottingham Forest, yeah, obviously they're interested, but could they be put off? There's other suitors as well. Newcastle were another name. Right, another story. It's not going to go well. Something's going to get boring because I'm not convinced anyone's going to pay the sort of money that Saints want for the boy. But Tyler Dibbling, Tottenham still setting their sights on him. Apparently, it's done the rounds for days and days and days. They were keen in January. They're likely to join the auction, I read yesterday. But Saints want £55 million, a minimum. I'm not convinced they're going to get 55 million for him, but they want 55 million for him. Be interesting to see if anyone takes a punt on him. I still think he's got a long, long way to go. I think a year in the Championship would be perfect for Tyler Dibbling. Whether he'd be as important as Mateus in the Championship, I'm not convinced by that, but Saints want 55 million for him. Give me all your thoughts on that. Is Dibbling worth 55 million? We've debated it many, many times on this channel. An ex-player always gets linked with Southampton, so the next two stories around players being linked, it gets a bit boring. These ex-players being linked with Southampton. This player's 36 years old. Dusan Tadic was brilliant for Southampton back in the day. Ajax and Bologna are very interested in signing him. Like I said, he's 36 years old. 36 years old. He's looking to leave Fenerbahce. Would you take him back at Southampton? Saints fans, get involved in the comments box below. I want your opinion. I think at 36 years old, you've got to look to the future. Surely, I think you have to look to the future. You really do, in my opinion. Right, this is a boring one. Comes around every window. You know exactly who I'm going to talk about. Scored against Pompey twice, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever it was. You all know I'm going to talk about Danny Ings. This post today, he followed Will Steele today and he added a like on a video, and everyone's in meltdown across many social media platforms. Danny Ings following Will Steele. I think he's a Saints fan, to be honest, Danny Ings, and no surprise that he's followed him. I don't think there's any link to him. Would you take him? Many fans are saying yes. Would he rip the Championship up? I don't know if his legs are gone. I've not seen enough of him, but maybe the Championship's a massive downgrade to the Premier League, so maybe. Elsewhere, I told you there's a lot of stories to bring you today. There's a lot of chit-chat here on the first transfer show of the summer. These shows are going to be regular. They're going to be twice weekly minimum, but we will be dictated to by the amount of stories. But there's a lot to get through today. Shay Charles. We all love Shay Charles. Well, I do anyway. I think he's a top player. He's got another couple of years remaining on his contract. He's going to be in demand this summer by the looks of it. And West Ham have him on their radar. This was reported today. They're very keen on Shay Charles. Arsenal were linked in. It was back in. I think it was back in Jan, wasn't it? I think he's a key part of Saints' squad next year. I think if you can build a midfield around Shay Charles, and I'm going to talk to you about another player very, very shortly. But I'm quite excited about the prospect of Shay Charles being a real linchpin in Saints' midfield. I think he's a great player. Brilliant season at Wednesday. Won loads of awards up there. Fans Player of the Year, Players Player. Clean up. He's a clean up because he's a class act. I just think under a new manager in Will Steele, I think you'd get the best out of him. I really, really do. And the next player I want to bring into the conversation, I've not watched him play loads, but a couple of my friends messaged me. I'm in a TikTok group with a load of guys that do football creation on TikTok, and they all text me, Martin, you need to look at this because you boys, they said to me, you boys are interested in Jack Redoni. He's 23 years old. He's at Coventry City, Leicester, Sheffield United are keen on him as well. Scored 10 goals, got 12 assists. Apparently, he is a top player. I've not seen enough about him to really give an opinion on him, so I'm going to go and do my research on him. We'll talk about him a bit more on Sunday. But everybody's saying to me, this would be a class bit of business for Saints. Knows the division, 23 years old. Coventry side that have done immense this year. but are they really going to kick on again next season, Coventry? But a lot of people say he really suits the way that Will Steele plays football. So look, that could be a great bit of business. A bad bit of business for us right now, because we're going to go from good to bad now. Sheffield United put this tweet out today. They've confirmed that all their players that are on loan, they'd like to thank their loanees, and they've confirmed that Ben Brereton Diaz will return to Southampton with the expiry of his loan. Saints have got a problem on their hands to move him on, by the way. I think that's going to be a really difficult one to move on. But it does look like he'd be back with us for pre-season, along with a bloated squad. Hopefully we can find a taker. I don't see where he fits in. Disastrous signing, we all know. We've been there, we've covered it, we've gone over it. I think it was Joe Tessam on BBC Radio Solent in Going Home with Adam and Joe, thought it was absolute classic when he was talking about him the other day. He was just saying he's just not a very good footballer. Terrible touch. I watched him kick it out quite a lot as well. Back-heeled it out. I see him back-heel it out in 2 games in a row. Maybe his lack of confidence, but it just doesn't look like a player that suits our football club at all. That wraps up all the rumours, but I did say to you at the top of the show, I was going to talk to you about Joshua Quarshie. If I've pronounced that right, I don't know. I think I have. I've done a bit of research on it. 3.5 million euros is the transfer fee. He's at Hoffenheim. The medical's supposedly been done. 20-year-old centre-back, and he's highly thought of. Great centre-back, apparently. I'll reserve judgment until I've seen him play a bit. He's got a massively long throw on him. I saw a couple of clips on X earlier, and they're showing his throw. He's got a massive throw. Really tall, and he's quick, like quicker than Kamaldeen Tilemana. From what I was reading, there were some stats out. I haven't got them with me, but he is super quick. There was an article that I read, and I grabbed this bits from different articles I've read about him. So I'll just bring it to you. He's 6'5", so he established himself in European football, and he's quite well sought after. He was born in Germany, represented his country at various youth international levels. He's versatile, and he can play at right back as well. And a lot of people are saying this is a really good signing. He is, he's been out on loan, so he spent a bit of time out on loan. So we'll come into that very shortly. But he was promoted to the Hoffenheim first team in August 2023 and fell victim to limited playing time, like a lot of young players do. And that he went out on loan to Fortuna Düsseldorf, and that was in January 24. He featured in 16 matches there, but a calf injury in March and inconsistent game time led to an early termination of the loan in January 2025. In January this year, he went out on loan again, and I can't even pronounce the club he went out onto, so I'm not even going to try and go there. But he was a regular starter for the club he went to. He played 15 appearances, 13 which were full 90 minutes outings. He averaged 26.1 defensive actions per 90, and he was pretty consistent in breaking up play, and he maintains the shape in a back four. He is good at passing. He's got a good pass rate, to be fair. Very good in his duels, aerial duels. He's won 78.5% of his aerial duels. It's a standout, making him a really good presence at both set play as well. And Saints have been really poor from set play, as we know. Good with the ball at his feet as well. Carries the ball well, so they're saying, from what I've read. And we know Will Steele has worked with some world-class centre-backs. And the article I was reading is very true. Apparently it aligns well with Kusanov that went to Man City, who Steele had at his previous club. Prime example of what he can do with a centre-back. He makes his teams really organised, Will Steele. You can see it's a fit. And Jonas Boers did say when he was interviewed a few weeks back that he wants players that are physically strong and they need to be fast. Well, he fits both the bills, doesn't he? There's no doubt about that. And he wants aggression and mentality to the players that they sign. So it does make him quite a good fit, I would say. The move for me suggests that they will go for more players like this as well, more younger up-and-coming players. I still want to see us sign some experience, some leaders. I don't think they need to learn their lessons from buying youth and not experience. And I hope and pray that they don't go down the same route and Spurs is going to be like, oh, it's all about young players, all about young players, because that will be a little bit of a nightmare. I don't know if this got done, but the Daily Echo did also speak about Saints were trying to hire Hoffenheim's youth squad planner, Tim Leader. Whether that happened or not, I don't know. He was going to go in and work with like the head of scouting. So maybe that's a link that's coming in with Spurs, and that's why we've ended up signing this young lad. It's not been announced, and I don't think it will be announced to after the weekend. Right, give me all your thoughts in the comments box below. Love to get your thoughts on it. That wraps up my first transfer show of the summer. Like I say, there'll be plenty more coming your way, so you need to make sure you subscribe to this channel. Like the video, drop a comment, share it with a friend that may enjoy the content as well. And if you hear a story or a link and you want me to get it and feature it on the channel, or you want a player analysed in a bit of detail, just drop me an email, info@footballmartin.com, and I will make sure that I feature the player on the show, especially for you. Thank you for tuning in. See you again in another video very soon.